Hello, it's Sonia from The Pretty Stitch. So today we are going to get started on this headband or ear warmer project. So this will fit any head size. You can custom size this to fit anybody. So today I'm using an eye hook or 5.5 millimeter. I have worsted weight yarn, but you could even use a smaller hook if you wanted, if you had DK weight yarn, or if you had chunky yarn and you wanted to make, a thicker one, just use the hook size that would fit best with the yarn you're using. So obviously we're going to need to make our slip knot to get started. So the first row is going to be foundation double crochet. So to fit this, to fit you or whoever, what you'll want to do is measure your head or measure a child's head, if whoever. And my suggestion is to make, let's say you measure 22 inches, so make your foundation double crochets like a ½ inch shorter, so 21.5 inches or even 21 inches, because you don't want it to be super loose on the head. You want it to stay on, but you also don't want it to be too tight. So, if you're making it for yourself, you can just, work your foundation double crochets and, slip it on your head and see if it's comfortable for you. So I'm going to work 72. And I am going to chain 4 to start my foundation double crochet. So if you've never made foundation double crochet, very easy. I will walk you through it. We're going to yarn over. So in your 4th chain from your hook, you're going to insert your hook and you're going to pull up a loop. Just like you were working a regular double crochet, so you have your 3 loops, you'll yarn over. So instead of pulling through 2, we're going to pull through 1. So it's like creating a little chain. Now you're going to work your regular double crochet. So now we have, this is going to count as a stitch. So this is your first stitch, this is your second stitch, and we've created our little chain there. So we're going to yarn over and we're going to insert our hook right in that chain and do the same thing. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, and then continue working our regular double crochet stitch. So you're going to want to keep on doing that until you have however many stitches you need. So I'm going to work 72. I think 72. I'll measure it and see if it's, I have a small head, so maybe that's too many, I don't know. So I will meet you back when my foundation double crochet is long enough. Okay, so now I am ready to turn this into a circle. So I've worked my 72 foundation double crochets here. So now we need to turn this into a circle because we are making a headband or an ear warmer. I guess an ear warmer because it's going to be a wider one and it'll be nice for winter time. So what you're going to want to do is you will join with a slip stitch on top of this chain 3, skip chain 3 right here. So I'm going to insert my hook right on the top, and you just want to make sure that it's not twisted up. And we'll work our slip stitch just like that. Now you notice you will have a little bit of a gap, so when it comes time to finish, just take your tail and you will use your yarn needle, and I would thread it right there, just thread that through, and that's going to take care of that gap. Okay, so now we are ready for round 2. So with this pattern, you will be turning. So we've chained 1 and we're going to be turning. And obviously this is going to be your right side, this is going to be your wrong side. So what we're going to do is we are going to work a slip stitch in the back loop. So you're going to see right here is your stitches, the tops of your stitches, and we're just going to work a slip stitch. So just be careful that you don't make them too tight, and we're going to slip stitch all the way around. So you're going to work 72 slip stitches or however many foundation double crochets that you've made. So the first chain 3 does count as a stitch, so I have 72, so I want to work 72 slip stitches in the back loop only, and the rest of this pattern will be back loops only. So if you worked 60 foundation double crochets, and you'll work 60 slip stitches or 80 or however many, so on and so forth. So just work the amount of slip stitches the same as your foundation double crochets. So I will meet you back at the end of round 2. Alright, so I have finished round 2 of my slip stitch. So I have worked in the back loops only, and I tried to keep my stitches on the looser side because slip stitch can get tight really easily, so you just want to be relaxed when you do this stitch. So what we're going to do is we are going to join in the front loop here, and just, you know, have the stitch facing you like that so you can see that is your back loop, that is your front loop. So right here is my front loop, and I'm going to join that. Now I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to turn, so we're back working on the right side, and we are going to slip stitch again, working in the back loop. So just have your work have your work turned toward you so you know where to work. And right there is my back loop, and I'm just being careful not to work too tightly. And I am going to continue to slip stitch around. You're probably wondering why you're turning with this pattern. You know, we're working in the round. A lot of times you don't turn, but if you just work the slip stitch continuously, it just, I mean, it's a nice look, but I just, you know, this is the look that I was going for, so you need to turn to do it. So it almost reminds me of slightly knitted fabric. It just, to me, looks really clean and neat and tidy, and so that's why we're turning. So I'm going to continue working my 72 slip stitches, and again, however many you started with your foundation double crochet is however many slip stitches you want to work. And we're working in back loops for the rest of this pattern. So I will meet you back. Okay, so I have finished up round 3. So we are going to join in my front loop right here. And the reason why we're joining in the front loop is because when you turn it, then it becomes the back loop. So there we go. So now round 4. So we are going to be working the same stitch. So for rounds 4, 5, and 6, you're going to chain 1, turn, and work in the back loops and slip stitch. So I am going to continue to do that. So here I will get started here for you. So this is round 4. So I'm chaining 1, I'm turning, and I'm going to work right in that same stitch right there, my slip stitch, and I'm going to keep going for round 4. So, and then for round 5, that's your right side, you'll do the same thing, and for round 6. So I will meet you back at the end of round 6. Okay, so I have just finished up round 6 of working my slip stitch in the back loop. So now we are going to chain 3 for round 7, and we're going to turn our work, and the odd rows, or rounds, I'm sorry, is our right side. So now for round 7, you're going to work double crochet in the back loop. So this chain 3 here counts as a stitch. So we're going to work right there is our back loop, and we're going to work our double crochet. So you're going to continue to work however many double crochet you started with. So I have 72. So I will work 72 double crochet for round 7. Okay, so I've just finished up round 7. So I'm going to join on top of my chain 3 there, and then we'll be ready for round 8. So round 8, so rounds 8 through 12 is going to be a repeat of what we did down here. So you're going to chain 1, you're going to turn your work, and you're going to work in the back loops. So we're still working in back loops only. So you'll slip stitch in that back loop, and you'll continue to slip stitch around for rounds 8 through 12. And then round 13 is your final round, and you're going to do what we did right here. For round 7, you're going to chain 3 and then double crochet around, and then you will join, and then your ear warmer or headband will be finished. So I will meet you back at the end of round 13 so you can see the finished product. Alright, so I have just finished round 13, so I'm going to join in my first chain 3 with a slip stitch there. And now I'm going to cut my yarn. And this project is just about done. So what you will want to do obviously is weave in your ends. And for the little gap here, you'll just cinch that closed. Now if this seam really bothers you here, you can pop some buttons on there or some other kind of decoration. Or for me, I probably will just have that as the back of the ear warmer. And even I noticed store-bought knitted ear warmers, like places like Walmart or whatever, they often have seams in their projects. So don't think just because there's a seam that it's bad or you didn't do a good job. I mean, I try to avoid seams, but even things that you buy in a store have seams, and I would say this is better because it's made with love if you're giving it to somebody, and it's probably made a lot more nicely than something that's just machine made in a store. But that's just my 2 cents. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and I thank you so much for watching.